Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kinship SMP. Now you'll notice that from that time lapse we've cleared out this area, we're leveling it off because this is going to be, like the blue area that is going to be the car park for the music festival. Now I want to do this in two sections. First off, over here you're going to have the kind of the dusty, dirty trail kind of vibe where it's just a bit of a barren wasteland where people can park their cars while willy-nilly, and then over there is going to be the proper multi-story car park where it's actually going to be built properly. It's going to be like VIP parking or VI parking, if you want to call it that. And essentially this area is going to have just more security and better facilities, and overall it's going to be much nicer, but it's going to be more expensive. So as you can see in the free cam here, we've kind of split this island into two sections. And like I say, on this side it's going to have a really nice vibe, nice and high end. So like I say, it's going to be expensive. But I also need to find a way to put a connecting road in. Now, obviously, all this bit over here is not part of my base, but I'm wondering if maybe putting in a bit of a bridge here, just to kind of suggest that it's being connected to the outside world. And then from there, the road's just going to kind of wind its way around here onto the dusty car park first, which Jen actually came up with a really cool name for. And I'm going to butcher this now. What was it?
Puddy Muddles.
Puddy Muddles. Puddy Muddles. Terrible at pronouncing that, but yes, obviously like Muddy Puddles, Puddy Muddles. So I thought it was quite a clever name. I'm still yet to come up with a name for the large car park, the proper one at the side here, but we'll cross that bridge as and when we come to it. But the first thing that I want to do in this episode is sort out this area. So as you can see, I've taken out a lot of the stone, and I'm actually going to be carving out a little bit more of this because I want to make the kind of dusty trail a little bit more sand and sandstone orientated. So the first thing I need to do is go and collect some materials, and then we can make a start on getting this looking something like. Now I have come up with a design in a test world as to how I want this to look, and like I say, it's more of a dusty trail type thing, so it's not going to be a cohesive road as such. It's going to be kind of every man for himself. I might have some staff like marshals or something wandering around and just trying to organize where people are going, where people can park, but ultimately it's going to be pretty minimal in the organization of this. As I say, all the effort and money and planning and staffing goes into this section. Okay, so as you can see, I've made a small amount of changes to this area. I've just kind of evened things out a little bit, and I've put like a bit of a grass border around. Eventually I will be putting in kind of a transition between what's going in here and then what's going to be over here, just so it kind of blends a little bit nicer and looks a little bit more authentic. But for this main area, we're going to be using a mixture of sand and sandstone, and then also for kind of sectioning off where people are going to be parking, I'm going to use a little bit of diorite. I've got some copper bulbs that are over in the chest over there, and I've got some bamboo fences and cobblestone walls, and I'm going to be turning those into lampposts. Because again, the idea with them being relatively cheap looking materials, they're just going to be dotted around the place just to kind of give it a little bit of life, a little bit of light, that kind of thing, but it's not going to be too expensive. So the general idea that I'm going to have for this main area is, like I say, I want to mostly use sandstone, and then every now and again I'm going to dot in a little bit of sand as a bit of texture. And I'm just going to keep going on like this, like I say, a little bit of texture here and there. And obviously this is going to use up quite a lot of materials, which I'm not too worried about. I mean, I can go and buy a lot of stuff from Mulchy's shop. But then, like I say, in between we're going to have spaces for the cars, so we're going to have them marked out like this, then maybe leave 3 spaces and then another space there, and then when this all gets filled in, it's just going to kind of look like road markings. So that's the general idea that we've got for this area. Now we're going to jump into another time lapse and we'll get this done. Here we go with the big reveal, and here it is. Now you can see obviously that I've done quite a bit more on this since that time lapse, and there's a reason for that. Unfortunately, I wasn't fully decided on how exactly I wanted this to look and also the layout of everything, so I kind of had to do a lot of trial and error, and unfortunately there were quite a few revisions that I had to make. So I eventually landed on this, and I'm really happy with how it's turned out so far. I do have a little bit of work left to do, just around here and stuff. I want to put some potholes in, kind of put some water down, things like that, just so it's kind of got some muddy puddles, because you know this place is called Puddy Muddles, and yeah, it's got to have a little bit of that in. That being said, I'd probably say the biggest change that I've made in all this is I'm using snow for the markings instead of diorite. And to me, it just looks cleaner, it looks nicer. The idea for this place is that it's brand new, so everything's going to look new, even if things do look a little cheap. And I have to say, even though these lampposts do look a little on the cheap side, they do look good and they do look very fitting for this area. Now, of course, I wanted to light this place up enough that mobs weren't going to spawn, and to do that, I've kind of put these copper bulbs in the floors, then waterlogged them and put these trapdoors over the top as well. It kind of makes it look like drainage grids, so that was hopefully a way to kind of mask all that, but still light up the place nicely. So over here we have the entrance. People are going to come in from this way. This is going to be the main road coming in, and they're going to come into this entrance here. They'll find a parking spot, and then when they want to leave, they'll be coming out of this way. This is going to be the exit. Again, we've got a bit of a speed bump here that you have to go over. We've got them on both sides there. That's the way to get out again, back to the main road. But once you've come through the entrance here, you've come around and you've parked your car, you grab your family, you grab all your belongings, everything that you're going to need to go camping, and you come over here to this walkway. You can see there's a couple of bollards here, so cars can't get through and run people over. And you've got this walkway coming straight across here, bit of a zebra crossing, keep it all nice and safe for the children. Through these bollards here, and we're going to come along this pathway, and that's going to bring us to this bridge that I'm going to build here and over to the village area. But overall, I'm really happy with how this has turned out. I think it looks exactly the way that I had it kind of in my head. So from here, we can call this pretty much done. Like I say, there's just a few other little bits I want to do. A little bit of greenery, some trees or some flowers, that kind of stuff, just to kind of give it a little bit more life. And then we're going to move over to this section, which is going to be the multi-story car park. I need to do a little bit of terraforming here and just get that nice and flat, ready for the building, which I have been doing in creative mode. I wanted to come up with something a little bit more, well, for want of a better word, structured, but I wanted something that was a little bit more thought out and something that's going to actually really kind of consume almost this entire space. And it's got to be really noticeable. And that's the biggest thing, is that this is just kind of thrown together with no real kind of thought or care. But then this is going to be immaculate. It is really going to look the part. But one of the biggest materials I'm going to need for this area is black concrete, which means I need huge amounts of black dye. So whilst I'm clearing all this out, go take a look at this clip of me and Jen building a squid farm. So I've got a minute 52 on this water breathing, so let's dive right in. There it is.
Minor fatigue. There's got to be sponge in here. Surely. I'm not seeing anything, boom.
Alright, okay, let's out. So unfortunately, yeah, nothing in that one.
Right, let's try this one instead then. Oh, I can't even see what I'm doing because stupid guardians. Right, let's go find us some elder guardians.
I found one.
Nice. Good start. Oh.
And there's the minor fatigue yet again. I found number 2.
Where's number 3? Is number 3 going to be up top? I think in the middle.
Potentially. Or there's the potential that it could be lower down or on the other side.
Right, so I'm at the top middle, and he's definitely not up here. So he's got to be somewhere.
Yeah, there's sometimes they're in this sort of bottom corner. Oh, yep, found him.
Right, well, you take him out. I'm going to start looking for sponge.
Okay, that's all 3 down.
Nice. And should get some sponges from those as well. Awesome. No sponge so far.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything. 2 minutes on minor fatigue.
How long's left on water breathing?
I got 3 minutes on mine.
Right, so we need to hurry up, really.
We're going to cut this close. Although, I've got a couple of other water breathing potions in my ender chest, so that's going to help. So
Okay.
have to wait it out, I'm afraid, until this minor fatigue stops.
At least try and see if we can find the sponges first while it's thingy. So this is literally going to be a point of, like, we're not going to find the sponges, so we're going to have to start mining through the walls.
Pretty much, yeah.
You've got respiration, right?
Yep.
Okay then.
So I'll be good. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Minor fatigue is down.
Okay, let's start tearing this thing apart. Hello.
Hello.
It's usually rooms like this, isn't it, where you would normally find sponges.
Yeah, little side things. And oh, hang on. Found one. Found the room. Found the room.
Hooray, spongy time. We don't really need that many, do we?
What did I do with my... I had
I
a
got
hoe.
I got one.
No, I had one. That's what I'm saying. I had one in my inventory and it's now not there.
Oh, not good. Right, 25.
I've got 14, so yeah, I think we should be alright with that.
Okay, let's get out of here.
We've got a portal that goes straight off to the nether, so we can just dry him out. He's dead easy.
Exactly. What's the plan? Are we going to head straight over to what is going to be the squid farm and go and drain it all out?
Yeah, I collected a few more materials already that we're going to need for it, so I'm hoping that that's going to be enough. So, got plenty of glass, plenty of sand, and yeah, with a bit of luck, that'll be enough.
Okay, so I need black dye, obviously, for the dye shop. And you need black dye as well, so that's obviously the reason why we're building the squid farm. So what do you actually need it for?
Well, for me, I've got a project coming up with my music festival where I'm going to need a car park for everybody. So, typically, for that kind of stuff, you're going to need black concrete. That's quite a good block to use for things like tarmac-looking kind of vibes. But I also think I'm going to need black dye for things like black wool, because I want to texturize it a little bit, make it look a bit more authentic. Certain areas are going to look a bit more worn, so different blocks, for different things. So
So it's very interesting. Yeah, I've not actually had a proper look at your base yet, so I might have to come and do that at some point today, and you can show me what progress you've made.
Well, we're neighbours, so you're welcome anytime.
Well, yeah, I'll pop down in a little bit then. Right, we're going to drain this section here. I don't know if you can see, we've got all this around here to do, and a little bit up there as well. And yeah, as you can see, we're getting ink sacks already. Just we need more. So yeah, let's get this drained, and we'll see you guys in a little bit.
How's it looking so far?
Drainage wise,
Yep.
pretty good.
Okay, so this is the squid farm now completed. There was a little bit of footage lost, unfortunately, but that's just the way this recording goes sometimes. We have got this AFK platform up here, so if I turn on the despawn sphere, then you can see that there's going to be less mobs in the area that are going to be actually spawning, but we're more worried about the ones that are going to be spawning in water. Now, there's a small amount of water over here, but nothing's really going to be spawning up here, certainly not squids, because we're actually not in a river biome over here. So as you can see, if we come to the bottom of the despawn sphere, there's not really any other places for these squid to spawn, so all of them are going to be spawning in our area, and then we can catch as many drops as possible. That being said, if I take you down here to the collection area, you can see that we've been getting quite a lot of drops, and it's been really nice. There. I had to change the design ever so slightly from what you may have seen in the time-lapse. Basically, we had one minecart going backwards and forwards, and unfortunately, it just was too slow. Not only was it not getting across this whole thing fast enough, but then also, when it came to actually dropping stuff off, it was still leaving loads inside the minecart. So I've done a different system here now, where you can see that the minecart stops when it's got stuff in it. The comparator sees that there's something being pulled into the hopper, and then it depowers this torch, depowers the repeater, and then, in turn, depowers this rail here, which stops the cart, which allows more items to pass through. So when there's nothing else coming through the hopper, all this turns back on again and the minecart is released. So the drops come down into the droppers, and then we've got this comparator clock kind of just firing things back out again into these chests here. It's a relatively simple system, but very effective. So as I say, this farm is incredibly simple, but very effective. And it's going to provide all of the ink sacks and black dye that we're going to need for this multi-story car park. But unfortunately, that's just going to about do it for this episode. I know it's a slightly shorter one, but we've still got quite a lot done. In between episodes, I'm probably going to be gathering resources for the section behind me. So this is going to be for the multi-story car park. And with a bit of luck, we can get that done in the next episode. I'd also like to get a little bit more work done on some of these areas as well. Like I want to try and get the village area finished at some point soon, and then also start making a little bit more progress on the accommodation. But that does mean that there's a lot of preparation to do in the meantime. So I'm going to get cracking with that. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye for now.